A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, lies a planet with tales untold. These are the Legends of Sicemon. Amity Chapter 1, Ephemeral Celebration. We open with the blue of hyperspace, seen around a passenger shuttle, carrying people. Some of these people are going to Sicemon to enjoy the Amity Celebration. Some of these people are just on their way back home. Some are regular traders who are taking their cargo there to be sold. And there's at least one person who is none of these. She is sitting alone with just the one bag. And Isabella, do you want to describe Cindy?
So Cindy is a young Togruta in her mid-20s. She is blue-skinned and has montrals with green markings. And she looks efficient. She also looks like, almost like mingling into the background. She's like, I'm here, I'm not here. You look, you're not going to pay a second look, which is kind of what she's trying to achieve.
So her demeanor is she's just sort of acts casual.
Yeah, not necessarily approachable. But I mean, not someone that you're like also avoiding altogether. She's sitting alone. She has something that it's like giving the idea of like, I'm focused on something. So I'm not going to be impolite, but I'm also not going to engage in conversations. You're going to hear a lot of yeses and nos.
Which you've had to do a couple of times. This has been a couple of hours on this shuttle so far in a hyperspace jump from Corellia to Sicemon. But you're about to be there. You've done your sort of like mental calculations, and you've done this trip quite a few times. When do you think was the last time you were home? A whole cycle ago? Maybe 6 standard months ago? How long has it been?
It's been a bit. It's been a bit. There's been a lot of things in the working, so Cindy had to be in places, talking to people. That's like, the trip is always like very welcomed. But it's been tiring. There's a lot of things going on in the galaxy right now. And, as a very active person in the communities of making things happen for the galaxy, she is welcoming the little bit of rest. The most interactions she had to do in this trip were probably a few children might have come up and say hi, and she's not rude. She'll say hi to a kid. If a kid comes with a fake phone call, she'll answer the phone call. But for the most part, she's been left alone, which is good. She gets to go mentally over like the things that have passed, the things that will pass, and the worries. And
yeah, Cindy is probably the only person on this shuttle who is aware of the fact that the entire galaxy is at a tipping point at the moment. Is that like affecting her demeanor at all? Is like, how much of a false front is this casual, restful appearance, and how much of it is fact?
Oh no, it's definitely an act. There's a lot going on right now that inside her head, it's a whole different situation. Like, she knows things that definitely are adding a little bit to the stress. Mm-hmm. Also, ideally though, the stress that has recently been brought up and added to her life, there are possible solutions for it. So like, that's also where her brain is at. It is dire, it is urgent, but there seems to be a glimpse of hope and light at the end of that very bad situation.
So it seems like you're probably very focused on getting to your leader, to your boss, Kane Antilles, and making this their problem.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no. Right now, that's the stress. It's like, there's a lot on me right now, and I really need to give this to someone else so I can take a very, very long nap.
You also know that it's also the Amity Celebration's going on right now.
Yeah.
Maybe after you give Kane the information you're carrying, you can take a couple hours off. Go
that is always the dream.
See some old friends.
That is always the dream. When you've been hard at work for 5 years now, where every time you think you're going to get a little vacation, the galaxy doesn't take vacation. It is like there's always something new. So there's always that like hopeful wishing that this is the one time I'm going to be able to see this nice celebration. But it's been a while. It's been a while since I got to actually experience it. So who knows? Maybe I bring with me right now something so good that is like, it's okay. You finally earned a little rest and then back to work.
Yep. It's as you're thinking to yourself about how the galaxy doesn't stop, and maybe you'll get a break. Just once. Just once. Just one little break to enjoy the celebration, see some old friends and family, that you pick up on like the subtle micro vibrations of the engines shifting, and the shuttle drops out of hyperspace into real space. You can see through the transparent steel windows of the passenger area the shift from the blue-white lights of hyperspace to endless void of space, and you can also see the Star Destroyer and its minor surrounding vessels waiting to screen all of the ships that come in and out of the planet.
Okay, so since this is not my first time doing this, does it feel like this just happened a little too early in the trip than it usually does? Or is this like
This is about regular for any Imperial-controlled planet. There's going to be a Star Destroyer and, a couple of smaller vessels that the pilot has to transfer authorizations with.
Okay, but that is like at the regular point of the trip. It doesn't feel like nothing is setting off an alarms like, this is a little earlier than usual.
No.
Okay. I mean, again, not my first trip. It's not exactly something unexpected.
But then 2 minutes pass by. 3 minutes pass by. Several minutes have started to pass by. And the shuttle is moving. But instead of heading straight towards the sphere of Sicemon, as you can see it, you are so close. That little marble down there is home. You can just barely pick up the fact that the shuttle is instead going directly to the Star Destroyer. And you're watching, like, what is going through Cindy's mind as you see that the shuttle's not going down to Sicemon, that it is going to be getting likely boarded by Imperials instead?
Again, it's been 5 years that I've been doing these types of trip. Is this the first time this ever happened to me? Or it's like, I've been to ships before that have been boarded.
Well, I don't know. I kind of want to know, like, what do you think? Having been a rebel spy for 5 years, do you think you have the experience of having to deal with seemingly standard Imperial dealings of random boardings, random searches? Or are you feeling maybe a little more on edge knowing what you know?
I mean, I feel like, due to the nature of my job as a spy, usually when I'm going back to my base, I am bringing information. There's always gonna be a level of like, hopefully it's one of the days that we just go straight. I don't think it's my first time. I feel there is an extra edge given the very important information that I have on me, but also, like, again, it hasn't been the first time, and it hasn't been the other times it wasn't because of me. So, like, I think her mind is like, someone brought something in their suitcase that they're not supposed to, or like, the Imperial people are just being extra safe. So they might be on edge, which might be like why they're boarding unnecessarily, hopefully. I feel like, yeah, it's a little bit of like a 60-40. 60 feeling like okay about it, 40 is like, I know I have things to worry about. I don't feel 100% safe. No.
So you stay in your seat as the people in the passenger bay with you. There's maybe about a dozen other people in here, maybe 3 or 4 children with their family, and so on. When the doors open, and in comes a Imperial stormtrooper sergeant, flanked by 2 other stormtroopers, and they start going around and asking for identification.
All right. I have what's called false credentials.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. Look at me, so well prepared. Luckily for me, since I am born and raised in Sicemon, I just look like every other person from Sicemon. Like, I don't look out of place. It's like, I should just look like a young girl that is doing some traveling and is going back home to visit mom and dad.
Yeah, that's all you are.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing to see here.
Nothing to see here. Visit my ankle.
Yeah. Okay, so they've made their way around. They've come up to you now.
Identification.
All right, here it is. I present them with my credentials.
What's the name on your false credentials? I think you also have a disguise kit.
Oh.
Are you wearing any makeup to conceal your actual, like, face markings and, like, have new ones drawn on?
Good question. Probably. That sounds like a smart option. I'm very good at painting myself exactly like the photo on my credentials. I'm trying to think, like, what is a good nickname for Cindy? Would it be Sin or would it be Dee Dee? What is it? Because I feel like I'm going to choose a Diddy. Yeah, okay. So okay. The name in my credential is going to be Delilah. Because then the nickname for Delilah can also be Dee Dee. And I'm like, if I'm going to choose a fake name, I'm going to choose one that if someone calls me by a nickname, it's going to be the same nickname for my own name. So yeah, not Delilah, Dee Dee, yeah. So the name in my thing is Dee Dee because that is my nickname.
All right, so Dee Dee, you're wearing makeup, right? Make a hard skullduggery check for me, please.
All right, so I have skullduggery. Hard means how many?
3 purple die.
Can I get a boost die? Because once again, not my first time doing this. I'm very used to disguising myself and presenting false credentials.
I don't know. I feel like that's represented by your 2 yellows, your 2 ranks in skullduggery. You may have a boost die for having the proper equipment for disguising yourself.
All right. Hard skullduggery. Oh god, I'm scared. Okay.
You got 2 successes, 2 threats, and a triumph.
I triumph! I'm so well prepared to show my credentials. I knew this was coming.
What would you like your triumph to be? Because they take your credentials, they scan them, they go through just fine, and they hand them back to you. No thanks, no nothing. No common courtesies. These are stormtroopers.
Yeah.
And they move on to the next person.
Can it be? Since I have a feeling that this is not gonna end here.
Nope.
These are stormtroopers that have seen me in my disguise before. So they're very, like, confident that it's just like, yeah, no, this chick travels here all the time. We know her, basically. We've seen her credentials. Like, there's absolutely no reason whatsoever right now for them to believe that I am not who I'm telling that I am. Can that be my... Because I feel like it's gonna make it a little easier in the future if, like, no, we're looking for Togruta, whatever, and they're like, no, but we know this pink marking Togruta that is here. You're looking for someone with green marking.
Pink on blue, alright.
I don't know, I feel like I sprayed the end of my Montrose, like, with a different color. You know how you do, like, the hairspray, so that's the same thing she does with the Montrose.
Your head tails and your Montrose have kind of like an ombre effect going on.
Exactly. They're like, no, we know. Yeah, this might come to my advantage in the future that there's the glimpse of recognition, so they're a little less, like, overly aware of my presence on that ship.
Your 2 threats are that as they move on from you, an ISB agent steps into the area.
Oh no.
That is gonna, like, raise up your hackles a little, because that's not standard.
That's not standard, no.
He makes eye contact with the stormtrooper sergeant, who, like, does a little shrug, and he's just like, And he walks around looking at every single person with his hands behind his back. We have reason to believe that there is a rebel spy on this shuttle. We are going to be holding you all indefinitely, as is our right, until we have either cleared each and every one of you or found the rebel spy. Don't make this harder for yourself than it needs to be. And he, like, a sharp turn on his heel, snaps at the stormtroopers and makes his way out. One of, like, the dad of the 2 families kind of stands up and he goes, like, hold on a minute. But the stormtroopers just kind of like...
Okay, citizen. Make a lag.
And starts ushering everybody out of the shuttle. What you gonna do?
How are the chairs on this ship? Are they kind of, like, super hollow under it? Or, like, if my bag was under my feet and my fake credentials were just in my pocket and not in my purse, is it easy for them to not have noticed that I had a purse under my chair?
Yeah, we can say that.
Okay, all right.
Maybe you know that you could lift up the cushion of one of these chairs.
Yeah. Something like that. Okay, do I know that it's hollow under my chair? Like, there's a space where, like, I could remove something and it would have a very neat place for me to stash my purse.
Yes.
Or anything else around the ship that looks like this is something very unassuming.
Yes. This shuttle is meant for long flights between planets. So you have your general gathering area, that's this place, and then you also have refreshers and sleeping bays. You've spent a lot of time on this shuttle in particular, because this is the primary shuttle that goes in between Corellia and Sicemon. You know the crew knows you, and you've definitely established a hiding spot or 2 on this ship. So, where is your hidden storage spot?
See, I'm not gonna do in the sleeping base, because honestly, this is the first spot I feel like people are gonna look into. I need to be a little smarter than that.
Yeah.
Now, the general area where we were located, and this is my common ship, I always sit on that spot. I think Cindy is paranoid enough that she's like, yes, this is a great hiding spot, but it's also something that people are aware is removable. She might have created, like, a spot that is actually, like, on the back, like, where she's sitting, that part of the cushion.
Yeah.
And as she's getting ready to get up, she's gonna slide, like, under and just, like, basically from the floor slide it up inside the cushion on that area.
Okay.
That she has... She's always ready to leave stuff behind.
So would you like to make an average skullduggery check for me, please?
Yes. So average is...
2.
2. Can I get a boost die? Because we have established that the stormtroopers that are not paying much attention to me.
Yes, but I'm gonna upgrade the check, so it's gonna be 1 red and 1 purple.
What else can I use in my favor? Let me go back to my talents.
Alright. Yeah. I'm just gonna roll. I was just trying to do my best.
1 red and 1 purple.
Yeah, I have one red and 1 purple.
Okay, let's do it. Scary. Alright, so we have one success, 1 advantage, 1 triumph, and 1 despair. At least I hid my purse, which is the most important thing I have on me right now. Now I know my success is that I hid the purse. My triumph is that I managed to sneak my blaster. Can that be my triumph? That I managed to sneak out my blaster.
So you have your blaster on you? You want your triumph to be you have your weapon on you instead of it being in your bag? Is that what you want?
I'm trying to think if there's something more useful that I can use my triumph on. My think is like, right now, me, Isabella, I'm trying to find a way, how can I communicate that I got...
Captured?
Yeah, how can I send a signal to Sicemon who's like right down there? Like, even if it's just...
Ooh. I know. Your triumph is that there is another rebel agent who is part of the crew to the shuttle.
Maybe not an agent, but like an informant. He's like, I'm not gonna deal with it, but yeah, sure, give me enough money. Because like, I feel like it's gonna be easier for them to then not be compromised.
So as you make your way out of the shuttle, following along the other people, after successfully stashing your bag in the hidden compartment in the passenger area, you see the pilot and engineer is out there already. And as you're all lined up outside, there are many more stormtroopers out here than the 3 that had been on the shuttle. And the ISB agent as well is speaking to somebody in a dark gray Imperial uniform, his hat at regulation, and looking at his chest you can see like a badge of like ranking there. Do you want to make a knowledge warfare check to see if you can accurately identify what rank this guy is?
Sure, I have it. Are we adding anything to it? Nah, right? I just rolled the dice.
It can be an average check.
Can I get a boost die? Because once again, that is like my job to kind of know that kind of stuff.
Yes, you may have a boost die because, yeah, you are a rebel spy for the sector's rebel cell, and you've lived here your entire life, so you kind of know who the movers and shakers are. 3 successes and 3 advantages.
Nice.
Yeah, you look over at this Imperial officer in the darker clothes. With your successful knowledge warfare check, you know that is Commodore Boris Guy, and there's another trooper there with an actual computer scanning all of the credentials. Like the other shuttle passengers ahead of you have been ushered to this person with their credentials scanned by the machine.
Oh boy.
You make eye contact with the Rhodian engineer, who you know, if not an official member of the cell, like aligned with the cell, as you have your credentials scanned, and where the other ones had been green, yours pops up as red. The ISB agent's head jerks to you, And the Commodore looks as well. They snap their fingers and the troopers converge on you as you are arrested for being a rebel spy.
Cindy knows. She's like, I'm not gonna fight. This is gonna make it worse. Right now, I'm valuable somewhat to them. Cindy knows the battles to pick, and this is not one of them.
And it's as you are led away from the shuttle, binders clamped around your wrists. You can look out past the blue shielding to the void of space, and you can see Sicemon below, and you can only think to yourself,
I'll be home soon. I trust my people.
Leaving behind the Star Destroyer, we zoom into Sicemon, cutting through its atmosphere to the planet's surface. We pan over fields of green-blue grass with herds of Kaibuk and a massive flying creature with wide, membranous wings and sharp teeth soaring over a plateau of blue-gray stone in the far, far distance, an unidentifiable creature limp in one of its clawed feet. Coming into the frame is a city of white synthstone, the capital Mon Varn. Garlands of native flowers and ribbons decorate rows and rows of brightly colored tents in the central field that the city curls around. Smells of wonderful foods permeate the air. Music and chatter come from every direction. The people move from booth to booth, smiling and happy. This is the 20th Amity Celebration, a festival about the long cultural ties between Sicemon and its sister planet Alderaan, a simultaneous manifestation across both planets of their relationship and ancestral ties to one another. In front of a grand building, these massive holoprojectors partially obscure large imperial banners with performances live on Alderaan. Toward the edge of everything, we pan to see a plain, long tent in front of a huge corral where a smaller one of those creatures seen previously, the Jarivette, snoozes, while people stand at the fence, gawking at her. Zach, do you want to describe your character and what they're doing?
Well, Rahben is a simple Alderaan, a fox of sorts. They are sitting in their general ranch clothes. They got like a leather vest, denim jeans, big belt buckle, straw hat, and probably talking to a lot of the younglings about the Jarivette and specifically about Shri. And she's not that old. She's just a little bit been out of her egg. I don't know, maybe 6 cycles, 7 cycles. They grow real quick though. All the kids are all oohing and ahhing and asking questions. And can I ride it? No. She needs a rest. You don't want to wake up a Jarivette when they're napping.
One of the kids points over the fence towards the Jarivette and she's like, why does that kid get to go pet the big dragon thing? And it's Richard. He's running a brush through Shri's sort of long fur that comes off of her head and is weaving flowers into it.
Well, you see that right there? That's my boss. He runs the ranch. So, he's doing what the boss does.
See Richard's chest puff up a bit. He's like, yeah, that's right. with his imagined importance now.
Yeah, Rahben smiles real big when he sees it.
His motions become a little bit more staged.
A little more exaggerated and it's
exaggerated. Yeah. And as you smile over Richard and the little amount of glee you've managed to give him, is Nadia at the booth or is she maybe out and about in the market? She had gotten word that her old friend Cindy Moore was going to be in town.
She was at the booth earlier, but mysteriously the speeder they had is missing a piece. She didn't say why. She's like, made sure to let Rahben know. I was like, oh, the speeder's missing the axle curve. I need to go pick another one up in the town market. I'll be right back.
Real, right?
That's why I said an axle curve, Rahben.
So as Nadia navigates her way through the crowd, heading towards a undetermined destination, what does she look like?
Nadia's a youngish human girl. She's about early 20s. She wears kind of a half shoulder poncho with a hood over her head. She has her utility belt filled with bunch of tools for taking care of stuff at the ranch that she's still not that great at fixing, but she's really trying. Her backpack of Stardust Ranch is kind of just cross-bodied under that. And sticking out, she would be very subtle in the crowd if it wasn't for the fact that she has crimson red hair falling out of the hood that she constantly has to shove back in, and very vibrant purple eyes. So if you saw her, it's she tries to be, I'm subtle, I disappear into a crowd, and then her hood falls back, and then it's like, and now I'm the center of attention. Crap.
Where is she heading to?
So she's heading towards the district of the town where there's always like all the bars and all like the inns and everything like that. There's a couple alleys that she used to meet, like her and her friend Cindy Moore used to meet up all the time. Back, when they were telling Robin they were going to town for supplies and not going into town for supplies. And she knows, like, usually if Cindy Moore's in town, she'll probably leave a message around there. So at least to know, it's like, are you really here, or am I just hearing rumors?
As you walk through the crowd, can you make a perception check?
Yes, I can. Alrighty. That's a yellow and a green for me.
You can determine the difficulty to see how much you overhear, or maybe see.
You know what? It'd probably be an easy one. Just like it's partying. People are just talking. People are drinking. I would say 2 purple sounds like a good one.
Okay.
All right, let's
2 purple.
roll it. I have 2 failures and 2 advantages.
Oh. Well, you don't really pick up anything like that you wouldn't expect that catches your attention. You are just so focused on getting through the crowd and getting to one of your alleys to see if Cindy's gotten to Sicemon yet, that you just sort of hear people talking and you don't really pick up on tone or topic. What would you like your advantages to be?
We're getting 2 advantages. You know what? Probably a reason why she got distracted on like what she was doing. She probably saw something left behind. So if I can use 2 advantages, like either like an Imperial speeder bike that was just like some of the scouts leaving it behind, a bag that's not locked down, or like just like something that she could see as like someone dropped something, like a wallet of an officer.
So for 2 advantages, you would like to have an opportunity to steal from the Imperials.
Just an opportunity. That's all I asked for.
There is an Imperial presence at this festival. There are 2 troopers like patrolling down like every row, it seems. People give them a wide berth and a little bit of a stink eye. They are not well liked on Sicemon. While they haven't done anything terribly bad, their presence alone is icky. The Imperial taxes are a little bit soul-sucking. It seems like every day there's a new plot of land that's been bought up by the Imperial bureaucracy, or a new shop, or another like shop that's gone out of business and replaced with some sort of like standardized Imperial clone of something else that can be on any other Imperial planet.
Are they forcing things like recruitment on any of the populace?
They're definitely there's no like forced drafts.
They have like recruitment offices, and they're trying to like take the youth of Sicemon away.
Oh yeah, there's very much just kind of like, you can get much better opportunities by enlisting in the Imperial Army or Navy, that kind of thing.
Makes sense.
Definitely like causing a little bit of systemic poverty and then targeting impoverished youth, kind of thing. So nothing like overtly terrible, more like slow, soul-sucking, systemic things that have been in place for like a decade now, and you don't even know how you got there. So for your 2 advantages, you don't get to steal something, but you do get to avoid notice as you leave the celebration to go down a side alley, and maybe have picked up on the fact that there are quite a few more troopers than there were last year, actually, which is a little strange.
That's not good. And then she just goes deeper into the alley. It seems just like, okay, now it's just a whole like, stop being distracted. And looks like, okay, now try to find my way down this alley. And starts going down to like, tries to find her way back to one of those alleys. Now a little wary of like all these Imperial soldiers just kind of like here.
So when you and Cindy leave each other messages, what does that look like? Is there like a little bit of graffiti? Is there like a loose brick? Like
close. It's so
a fuse box that's not actually a fuse box.
There, now you're in the right spot where it's just like Cindy was like gadgeteer. She like always loved building stuff. She was the smart one of the 2. Nadia was the mischievous one. So a lot of times their secret spots are like light bulbs that like seem like dead light bulbs, and you pop the light bulb out and there's just like a message hidden in the light bulb, in a fake bulb, or a fuse box that's not a fuse box. drainage pipes that it's like, wow, that's like really slow clog because, there's a secret like magnetic like package in there slowing it down and just forcefully like plugging it up. Just like little things that are like seem like, oh, that's someone else's problem. That's where they hide it. They hide where you don't want to deal with it.
So you know this alley well enough. Anything out of place, this time it's that.
Yeah.
There's nothing out of place.
Oh, well, I'll make something out of place, and it goes to like leave a message for Cindy next time she's in.
Mm-hmm.
Just the whole like what she's seen, which is like a little like she likes doing for her little maps of like points of like where she saw troopers and even like little movements and stuff, and then hiding it. This time she's going for the light bulb trick, which is she pops out a light bulb, puts whatever message she has under the light bulb, but punctures the light bulb plug through the paper and it plugs it up so that the light isn't fully plugged in, so it's now either dim or off. So when Cindy comes through, it's like, oh, this spot's a little bit darker than usual, I have a feeling.
So to go back to Rahben, the kids that had been crowding around the fence line and being a little bit of a bother, as kids are, about Shri and how Shri's just sleeping, have moved on to the next, like, more entertaining thing.
Alright, Shri, they're gone. You can get up now.
And you are, I'm assuming, like, you're leaning, like, against the fence with, like, your elbows up and, like, your ankles crossed.
Yep,
like
just sitting there, like...
super casual and suave. When you see walking up the way towards you, it's been a couple of standard cycles since you've last like spoken to her, but she has cloudy white eyes and braided white hair. She's around the same age as you, in her late 50s, early 60s. The Arcanian Zaya, who runs the Dragon's Tier Cantina, is walking up the row in your direction. Maybe just walking up the row. You don't know if she's coming to see you.
Tips the straw hat. Zaya? Just like a greeting, just a formal or informal, like, I see you, how you going?
Her eyes kind of like move over to you, and she inclines her head, and she actually comes over to you now and like comes up next to the fence post by you. Rahben, it's been very long.
Yeah, don't know where you've been. I'm always in the same place, so...
As am I. I am always here and at the Dragon's Tears. How has the ranch been doing?
Oh, it's good. Still holding in there. We got Shri and a couple of the other older dragons, and it's mostly falling on Nadia nowadays. She's gonna, trying to get her prepared to take over the business.
Yes, I think I've seen glimpses of her around town when...
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna work. I think they got their head in the clouds and the stars, so...
looks like you need to maybe hire on some help then.
Yeah, it's just, with all that's going on, the Gyre event aren't as active as they used to be, and, we can't get them to lay any viable eggs, and it's been kind of rough. So I don't know. It's hiring folks isn't exactly top priority right now.
Credits are tight for all of us. Her eyes kind of shift over to Shri, and you notice that she's not actually looking at Shri, but she's looking at Richard. And how's the little one been doing?
Oh, good. Running around. I'm trying not to put too much on them, and they're just a kid and all. I just trying to keep them out of Imperial what's-its, just to keep them safe. It's after all that stuff. I don't want them. Maybe I'm too defensive, too protective.
And if I recall correctly, we've talked about this before. Jean and I had an arrangement that when Richard got to be a little bit older, he could start coming by the Dragon's Tears, and we could start, teaching him, giving him some basic education.
Oh, we got plenty of hollows at the ranch, and
I'm sure you do, but he must not get to interact with a lot of different folk all the way out there.
You're right. That's true.
And you, of course, would always be welcome to, join him in these sessions and be present as well.
Let me talk to Nadia about it, and I'll make it a point to get in touch with you.
She doesn't touch you because that's not her way. She's not very touchy-feely at all. She just sort of like nods her head again and straightens from where she had been leaning on the fence beside you. You and yours are always welcome at the Dragon's Tears. I hope you know that. I hope you remember it.
I mean, not too. Don't feel too welcome in town most days. So
I can understand why.
It's just hard, but I understand the needs of the little one. We'll make it a point to come out. Maybe I'll use training him to Radshri as an excuse to get out a bit.
I think that would be good for both of you.
What do you think, Shri? Yeah, Shri agrees.
Zaya kind of like inclines her head again and moves on her way. You know where to find us.
Oh, I know where to find you.
And she's gone.
Robin just glances back at Richard as he's, doing whatever he's doing, kind of anxiously.
He's being good. He's 10. He's a big boss now.
Yeah, he runs the ranch.
Exactly. So he's taken his responsibilities very seriously, and the things that you and Nadia have, kind of browbeaten to him a little bit, very, very seriously as well. Another group of children around his age go running past again, and you see him kind of like watch them. And then he turns back to Shri again, kind of like adjusting like one of the buckles of the saddle on her, making sure it's not too tight.
If you stay inside of the tent here, you can go run with the other little ones, but don't travel out of sight now. Definitely don't go out of earshot.
He is practically bouncing on his feet, like his head, like his whole body had like twisted around to you when you started saying that, and he was just like, "Oh really? Oh man! Oh thank you so much, Gramps! Thank you so much!" And he's practically like bounding over the fence.
Now
like,
watch the
a little too quickly, a little too smoothly for what a 10-year-old boy should be capable of.
Made of rubber.
And he takes off after the other kids. Do you want to make a vigilance or perception check to just sort of like keep an eye on Richard?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like it'd be more of a vigilance thing. I don't think it really matters for this character. It's only slightly different. So, yeah, what's the difficulty?
Well, if we're gonna do vigilance, I suppose it would be a...
Robin's definitely not glancing away from them for longer than like a moment at a time.
I'm going to make it a hard check because he is like a 10-year-old human boy, so he's not that tall, and there's a lot of people and a lot of noise.
We never rolled Destiny.
We never rolled Destiny.
Oh, we never rolled Destiny.
Let me erase this real quick.
Alright, well, everyone gets to roll one Destiny.
Yes.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah. So we have 2 light side points and 2 dark side points. Cool.
I am gonna burn one of those. Wait, actually, let me check my sheet real quick. I may have something for this.
Yeah, you might have something for this.
That's soothing tone. Animal bond, no.
I mean, Shri can help you keep track of Richard.
It's true. I don't think I have anything for this. Alright, let's roll. Oh my gosh. 2 failures, 2 threats. Oh no, Nadia's gonna kill me.
Nadia might kill you.
You tried your best.
Watching the wrong kid. What?
You're not sure where he went. But he's a good kid. He's a good kid. You can totally trust him to take care of himself and not to go too far away and not get into any big trouble. You hope.
A bad feeling about this. I mean, and everyone's here. People know who we are. So,
Yeah, the purple-eyed, brown-haired kid. It totally just can be anyone. Could be literally anyone.
Okay. Nadia, do you go straight back to the Stardust Corral, or are you going to explore the festival a little bit?
She's gonna find somewhere in the festival she can, like, buy something, because she's like, I did say I was gonna get an axle curve. I need to make something up for that. So she's gonna go like where tinkers and just people selling their wares or salvage or like art pieces. Like, I'm just gonna grab something and just call that the axle curve and just gaslight Robin.
Do you think that Robin doesn't know anything about mechanics or something,
Or he has no idea what you're doing.
She's 23. She thinks she's so smooth and does not notice that she is so obvious to Robin.
That's a paint scraper.
Yeah, you managed to buy some like random bit that you think is good enough for just like a handful of credits. It costs more than it should have, but that's this economy.
Yeah, it's the economy. It's in shambles. She is gonna try to pass by the Dragon's Tear and take a drink. So at least like she did kind of feel like she took a while. So at least it's like, okay, I'm just gonna sell the story. You went. You got the stuff, you went to Dragon's Tear, spent too long, then you got back.
So you want to go to the Dragon's Tear?
It's the only bar she knows that won't immediately kick her out. We're not going to talk why she got kicked out. The other ones, that's for another day.
Okay. I want to know why. So the Dragon's Tears it's not too far away from, because you're kind of like in the, sort of in the center of the city. It's kind of weird. The city itself is shaped like a very wide U semicircle, so that you have this massive park that is like the city center, but also like extends to the city outlines. So the Dragon's Tears is not right at the city center. You have to go like walk for a couple of blocks to get to it. And it's down like a couple of side streets, which honestly, going to the Dragon's Tear and then making your way back definitely will sell your story. So you picked a good location. As you walk around like a final corner of your sort of meandering path through the city, you know that you're getting close because you see the tree. One of the things that makes the Dragon's Tears distinct and unique is that it has this large outdoor courtyard that on a nice day the inside can open out to, and in this courtyard is this beautiful twisting trunk of a tree with this canopy that shades the entire courtyard. You step into the courtyard and walk past the tree, and you would normally expect to see Zaya here, but she's not. And instead, you do you go straight up to the bar, or are you just gonna like sit down for a minute and then be like, all right, that's long enough?
She's gonna go up to the bar, but she's gonna do what she normally does when she gets here, and I'm gonna burn a destiny point to add a detail to that tree. One of the roots hidden away, carved in, is...
No.
Okay, I'll let it... Then she goes straight to the bar. But yeah, she walks into the bar, goes straight to the bar, and orders a drink. It's like, Zaya's not here, so she can't say I just got here. It's perfect. It's perfect. It's great. One alcohol, please.
The being behind the bar, who usually takes over in Zaya's place, is a Togruta of... It's kind of hard to tell a Togruta's age when they reach that sort of like middle age point. Like, they're not a young adult anymore, but they're not an elder either. They're blue-skinned with green facial markings, and their montrals extend up in these like twirls. And you know that they're related to Sinde in like some capacity. She never really explained the whole family tree to you, but this is Big Moore. And Big Moore just sort of looks at you and slides you a very, very small glass of an alcohol.
And then she's gonna kind of takes it, like, she's also, can I also have a glass? No, it doesn't work perfectly. And she's gonna, there's no plants inside this place, right?
There's no plants?
Are there any plants, like, you know, like plants you would see at a bar, or like potted plants and stuff like that?
Oh, no, not really. There's, like, the whole place is like, even though there's not a lot of people in here right now, it's still, like, there's just still something, like, lively, like, filled with life about it, even though there's, like, 2 or 3 other people in here.
Well, if there's no potted plants, then I'm gonna go to plan B, which is she drinks it, swishes in her mouth, spits back in a cup, and looks at Big Moore. Is like, if anyone asks, can you tell them I had like 3 of these, and then put some table, and then put some credits down?
Why do you think anybody will ask?
I mean, if like people need to keep track of where I'm going, I just, I was 3 drinks deep here,
Sure thing, Nadia. Try and stay out of trouble. It's a celebration.
When haven't I ever gotten in trouble as she walks out the door smelling like trouble?
You don't want me to answer that.
Are you walking out backwards Han Solo style with the, like, me?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, me? Never, never.
All right, I will allow you, as you rejoin the celebration, to make another perception check.
All right, awesome.
Again, you get to choose the difficulty.
All right, you know what? I'm gonna go with that hard check from earlier because it's like that same spot. I'm like, no, we're going hard. I'm gonna drop this on myself. It's like it's a big celebration. People are trying to celebrate, and I'm gonna roll that. And oh hey, oh lordy, 3 successes and 3 threats.
Whoa. First successes of the night, though.
Yay!
So you re-enter the flow of the crowd, going from stall to stall, just sort of looking around. And this time, because you're not so focused on like possibly meeting up with Cindy, you can hear some of the more concerned whispers. There's one shopkeeper with beautiful like handmade jewelry. This person is a human talking to another human. From their clothes or the way that their hair is done up, that they're Alderaanian. And the jeweler, he says something along the lines of, the Emperor dissolved the Senate. Did you hear? And the woman that he's talking to was just like, no, but they dissolved the Senate? Like, yeah, just a couple of hours ago. And you move on from there, and you again notice like the stronger Imperial presence. You feel like you are passing by like the pair of stormtroopers every 100 feet, where usually it would be like maybe like every 500 feet. And you pick up your pace a little bit. You feel a little uneasy, and you get back to you can see Shri and you can see Rahben leaning up against the fence, but what you can't see is Richard.
I feel like Rahben probably isn't leaning at this point. He's probably near the fence, trying not to look like he's looking for Richard, because he doesn't want Richard to think that he can't go off on his own. But you can see the gray in his fur now, like where he's got like a tuft of black on his cheeks and on his tail, and where those are black, you can really see like the gray on the side of his eyes and around his cheeks, and it's like he's a little stressed.
Nadia just walks straight up to Rahben and just like goes like, Rahben, hey Rahben.
What? Hold on, I'm looking for something.
Oh, good. Find whatever it is. I gotta find Richard. I just overheard something that's a little worrisome.
Yeah. Richard ran off with some of the other little ones. They're supposed to stay right here in the circle, but there's so many of them, and I'm looking. He's here somewhere. I know. Richard! And no one blinks an eye because they do it too with their kids.
Yeah, like you get a couple of like faces turned your way, and then like the eyes looking around again too, because there's a lot of parents in this crowd. You know, it's a friendly bunch, and they might not be able to pick you apart from any other Alderaan on the street, but they know that the one with the Stardust Ranch is Rahben, but they aren't that concerned. It's the Amity Celebration.
Exactly.
What could happen?
Right.
And before you really get a chance to panic, the music that has been echoing from the massive holo projectors in the distance, they are cut off. The music dies, and like a wave, so does all of the talking, as everybody notices the same thing and sort of like turns to look as a sole figure takes the place in the holo projection. It's the planetary governor, Ochoa. She stands there in her imperial uniform with her hat at regulation and her arms behind her back. In accordance with the Imperial Emergency Act of 14 A.F.E, the Amity Celebration is cancelled and all participants are to disperse.
We gotta find the kid.
Thank you for listening to Legends of Sicemon, Amity. Legends of Sicemon is an actual play anthology podcast produced by Goodwitch Studios using Edge Studios' Star Wars role-playing games. For more information, check out goodwitchstudios.com. Cindy Moore is played by Isabella Jones, also known as Kirby sometimes. Rahben Stardust is played by Zach from Tales of the Outer Rim. Nadia Stardust is played by Enri Malinali, also known as Sim Disorder with one Y and one I in that order. You can find more information on all of them in our show notes and on Goodwitch Studios. Pacing back and forth in a small tent cordoned off from the main festival is a brown-skinned human in fine clothes. Their mint green hair has streaks of white, and their eyes have crinkles at the corners behind round glasses. Senator Kane and Tilly's twist their hands together as they glance at a datapad abandoned on the nearby table. They should have heard from Cindy hours ago, and now they were about to go on stage for the celebration and lie to their people one last time. The Senate was dissolved. Kane had no idea what came next. They paused as they heard coordinated footsteps approaching. Their frown deepened, and they scooped up the datapad, glancing at its front and freezing. There was one message. The user ID was anonymous, but they still recognized the code in the seemingly random strand of numbers. Zaya. The message was just one word. Run! They hooked the datapod onto their belts and shrugged off their ceremonial overcoat, draping it over the chair at the table. They moved quickly, pulling the blaster from the secret holster in the coat and the vibro knife from their boot, and slashed at the back of the tent, slipping through the gap and moving between the rows of tents away from the festival and the boots of troopers coming to arrest them. They hear the music cutouts from the holo projectors, and they know that the time has come, that the age of rebellion has begun. Stay tuned for Amity Chapter 2, The Wolves Descend, coming March 6th, 2024.